I'm George Dean, President and CEO of the Greater Phoenix Urban League, a leading provider of human services in the Valley, and you are watching Urban Connections. For those of you who might be tuning in for the first time, you need to know that Urban Connections came about through an agreement with the Greater Phoenix Urban League and Channel 3 that we would bring you a program at least once each month to talk about various issues, situations, concerns, conditions, and so forth that are taking place not only here locally, but statewide and indeed nationwide. And today, that's what we're going to do. Got a very interesting show for you today, so you want to stay tuned. We're going to be talking about men, okay, talking about men of color especially, but all men really, and fatherhood, and something that we all have been a part of or going to be a part of, so it's something that is most important. Our children equal our destiny. You know, you've heard that from the Urban League for a long time now, and if we're going to have a destiny that is better than the one that we have now, we're going to have to make sure that our children are guided and kept on the straight and narrow to lead us to bigger and better things. So stay tuned. Back.
Listen up. In 2016, a New Mexico House seat was decided by only 2 votes out of almost 14,000.
In 2010, a state house race in Vermont was determined by 1 vote.
In 2002, a Connecticut House seat was determined by just 1 vote out of more than 6,000.
In 1994, a Wyoming State House seat vote ended in a tie. The winner, chosen at random, went on to become Speaker of the State House.
Your voice matters. Use it.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Monsoons, hoboobs, ice, oh my. Arizona's Weather Authority is hitting the road to bring the weather and howler to your school.
Oh, I can see!
See that? Arizona's family's teaming up with the Arizona Coyotes for the Weather Roadshow.
What's he doing up there?
Learn about weather from the Valley's most experienced team.
Visit azfamily.com to request a roadshow stop at your school. Sponsored by the Arizona Coyotes and only from Arizona's Weather Authority.
Welcome back. George Dean, President and CEO of the Greater Phoenix Urban League, a leading provider of human services in the Valley. And I'm very pleased to be talking this morning with Marion Hill. And Marion is someone that we had with us 6 or 7 months ago to talk about a group called M.A.N, and we have been doing a lot of things since then. So Marion, welcome back. And sitting next to Marion is Leondis Fuller. From South Phoenix Head Start and a case...
Healthy Start.
South Phoenix Healthy Start.
That's the Head Start.
Okay. Healthy Start.
Right.
Gotcha.
Okay.
And Leondis is a case manager. And sitting next to Leondis is Reginald Burks, the president of Healthy Men Disguise. And gentlemen, let me say, first of all, welcome to Urban Connections.
Good to be here. Good to be here. Yes, sir.
And Marion, let's just start off with you. I know, like I said, a lot of things have gone on since the last time you were here, 6 or 7 months ago. So tell us a little bit about M.A.N. And
so M.A.N.
for those who haven't heard of M.A.N. before.
Yeah, M.A.N, which stands for Men All Need to Be Caring, Actively Engaged, Vested, and Encouraged.
is really now a program now, and it's a program, a fatherhood program inside of the Greater Phoenix Urban League. Was looking for a home 6 months ago, and now we landed at the Greater Phoenix Urban League. And so really the purpose of Man Cave is to create an environment and to create opportunities for men to come together and really have really transparent conversations about what it means to be a man, good, bad, and the indifferent, what it means to be a father, successes of being a father, failures, where we can improve, and really a support group for men to talk about and engage with their children. Oftentimes, especially when you're dealing with 0 to 5, you know, the infant toddlers. Fathers don't have that much of an opportunity to engage. They normally think it's the mom's responsibility, but we want to make sure that we create an opportunity to let dad know how important it is, how important paternal nurturance is, and what that brings to the table. We call them gifts that are given to the children that come from the father, that help in that cognitive development, that social emotional development, that ability to become resilient, to bounce back. And so that's really what Man Cave is. And Man Cave, being at the Greater Phoenix Urban League, also creates the opportunity for us to have some wraparound services there as well. So when we're talking about employment, when we're talking about other education opportunities around parenting skills, even if we're talking about opportunities to connect with resources in the community, that's where it's at. So it's Greater Phoenix Urban League, Man Cave. We've got some great things that's going on, great partnerships with the Milwaukee Brewers, with the Arizona Cardinals, and I think we're just coming into our own to do some great things in the community for fathers and their children.
Fantastic. Now, Leondis Fuller, the South Phoenix Healthy Start.
Yes, sir.
Tell us what it's all about.
Well, South Phoenix Healthy Start has been in existence providing services to women and children for some time in the Phoenix area, and it's targeted to working with these families because of the high mortality rate that has been experienced through the African-American families, namely. So we want to pretty much educate the families, get the families to be healthy. With healthy families, we can have healthier children. We're bringing the fathers into this family equation to make, the fathers has always been a part of the family equation, but offering the services to these fathers is something new that South Phoenix Healthy Start is doing. And this comes in a way that these fathers have a lot of different barriers. Some of them are even successful, but we want to make sure that they're a part of these services, and keeping the family together, educating the family together is a key to children growing healthy. Children that have the involvement of a father do better socially, educationally, economically, less likely to be involved with drug abuse, less likely to get engaged with gangs, less likely to have teenage pregnancy. So the fathers have a very, very important role in the lives of these children, and the fathers need to know the significance of what their role is and what the outcomes can be once they engage themselves totally within the family structure. Educating them through workshop development, through case management, elevating their sense of income earning, elevating their potential to be better men, getting them to understand that the rites of passage from infanthood to childhood, boyhood, teenhood, manhood, husbandhood, then fatherhood. Most of these rites of passages, our fathers or our men or our males have skipped all over the place, and a lot of them really don't know where they need to increase and learn to be a better person.
Okay. And Mr. Burks, Reginald Burks, you're the president of Healthy Men Disguise. Tell us what it's about.
Excuse me. Healthy Men Disguise is an organization that's event-driven to get men to engage in coming out and socially having a good time amongst each other, and at the same time to deliver information regarding their health, primarily to give them information so that they could take better care of themselves. Men on a whole do not go to the excuse me, go to the doctor on a regular basis, and so they lack in taking care of themselves. They just don't, you know, go to the doctor on a regular basis. So they get sick, they die when it's not necessary. If they go to the doctor on a regular basis, annually, they could prevent a lot of things that could be preventable diseases that, or things that go too far along, like cancer. A lot of men don't realize that they can be checked for prostate cancer without anything invasive. Simple little blood test. They can take some pills and feel a whole lot better as opposed to being stage 3 and stage 4 and then terminal.
Okay, so it seems like in all 3 instances here, we are talking about males, talking about families, talking about the whole basic structure of our society, really, and how that is going along and how that is taking place.
Yes.
I know that we have an event that is planned for later on this month, and when we come back, we're going to talk about that. We're going to, right now, take a short break and come back and talk about the event that's coming up later on this month. Stay tuned. We'll be back.
All right, crew, let's get started. All right.
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. Arizona Blue Stake is now Arizona 811. Call 811 before you dig.
We are Arizonans, and we don't just wake up and stumble into the new day. Around here, we morning. It's not just a time before noon. Morning is what we do.
Good morning, Arizona.
And no one mornings longer than us. Nearly 6 hours of rise and shine, of traffic, weather, breaking news, and everything in between. So morning with us all morning long, and morning like in Arizona. Good morning, Arizona, 4:30 to 10 a.m.
Distracted driving affected us.
Our beautiful daughter Ashley was only 12 years old when a distracted driver went through the light and ran into our van. Little did we know it was the last time we would see her alive.
The van rolled a couple times and it hit the side that Ashley was on.
It turned our world upside down. I lost a sister. I would never be able to get that back again.
I think that people should not be on their phones as much and text and drive because life is more important.
Weather alerts, interactive radar, and how much rain fell in your neighborhood. Download the AC Family News app.
As we sometimes say, it's a guy thing, and that's what we got this morning. It's a man thing. It's a man thing, really. We are talking with Marion Hill of M.A.N, C.A.V.E, Reginald Burks of Healthy Men Disguise, and Leondis Fuller of South Phoenix Healthy Start. And I mentioned the fact that you got an event coming up, a resource fair coming up. I'll start off telling us about that.
Well, I think that for us, really, when we sat down and wanted to come up with some kind of resource fair, we were really looking at 3 things and making an impact in 3 areas. One, healthy marriage, and what services, what resources are out there so that men are part of healthy marriage. 2, responsible fathers. Standalone, man, being a father, what does that mean to your spouse? What does that mean to your child? And 3, really growing children. Children that grow up in an atmosphere with mom and dad, with dad really being engaged and involved. And really, I think that was really kind of our goal when we started talking about a resource fair.
Okay. You want to add to that?
To add to that, providing services and information to these men and dad to help them feel whole as a person. We have so many men that are sitting back and may even be depressed because their livelihood is not taking the favor that they'd like for it to have. So we're offering these particular services at this resource fair. The different vendors that we've discussed is some vendors that we know will help capitalize the lives of these men. So we want these men to really take advantage of this. And it's just a start off, a kickoff of us coming together, offering some various services to the men and fathers in our community.
There seems to be some things about men, you know, like I guess I know I've been told that men don't cry, boys don't cry, and get up and brush yourself off and go again and so forth, that we supposedly don't have feelings and so forth.
That's correct.
You mentioned, Reginald, earlier that we don't go to the doctor like we should and so forth. Where do you think that come from?
Superman complex. Yeah, you know, a lot of men just don't want to show any vulnerabilities at all. They don't want to show any sign of weakness. It's just inherited in generations. You know, so going to the doctor for a lot of men is first and foremost fear.
Okay.
That's the number one thing. They don't want to be told something bad.
Okay. Don't bother me with the facts.
Yes.
My mind's made up.
They don't want to miss work. They scared about missing work. They scared about, you know, a lot of things instead of facing them head on. You know, they don't understand prevention is probably the best thing they can actually do.
Right.
You know, so one of the things we want to do is have that group conversation, surrounded with caring individuals in the medical field that can listen and can sympathize with them, excuse me, and, you know, say, hey, you know what, it's going to be okay. Let's find out exactly why do you have this ache? Why do you have this pain? And let's find the best treatment for you.
Marion, you mentioned earlier about the fact that the fatherhood and parenting and so forth, and you know, I mean, we have some wonderful mothers, but a mother cannot be a father for a child. That there's a special role that a father plays that a mother can never do, and so forth.
Yeah, I mean, I think for, you know, the one thing, you know, we're all men here, and what runs through our blood and runs through our vein, you know, it's testosterone, it's vasopressin, it's what makes us the men that we are. It's what makes us competitive. It's what makes us territorial. It's what makes us set a place, you know, for ourselves really, you know, in this world. And I think that in some cases, you know, paternal nurturance is just as important as maternal nurturance, because it teaches a child different things. When you want to look at discipline, self-discipline, you look at the father, and the father teaches that pattern thinking, that ritualized thinking. Everything is in its proper place, is in its proper order. Those kinds of things develop and bring about discipline within the child. The mothers have specific things, specific gifts that they give to their children as a part of maternal nurturance. The fathers have specific things that they give. They may do it differently. They may bring their kids up and nurture their kids differently, but it creates the whole child. And really, that's what we're really looking at. We are three men that are passionate about raising kids up in a world to be successful, but more importantly about really engaging fathers and having fathers really take their place at the table. Take your place at the seat as the head of the household, and nurture your children along with your spouse, along with their mother.
Okay. Okay. You want to add anything to that?
Yeah, and then we also want to take a look at, and my personal involvement in this is personal, because I don't think no father should be cheated out of having a relationship and the opportunity to raise his children. I experienced the loss of 3 sons through violent deaths in the city of Milwaukee, all by gunfire. In a 9-year period, in a 9-block radius, I've lost all my sons.
My goodness.
And I don't want any of our fathers to start experiencing it, and many of them have. But what's important that this current day, to build relationships with your children, to learn your role as a father, to learn your role as a man, and to improve all those qualities that you have for them.
Okay, that's wow. That's I'm sorry to hear that, but
And it helped me develop more of a passion for what I do.
I understand. We're going to take a short break, and we'll come back and wrap up this conversation. Stay tuned.
A second winter storm.
When winter weather takes the valley by storm,
ADOT shut down the 89A.
Arizona's Weather Authority is here for you.
Everywhere highlighted here under that winter weather advisory.
Keeping you ahead of every teeth-chattering turn, from the roads to your neck of the woods.
If you don't have to travel in this part of the state, just don't.
Advanced alerts, expert insight, on air, online, and on Arizona's Weather Authority Facebook page. Nobody keeps you posted like Arizona's family. Monsoons, hoobs, ice, oh my. Arizona's Weather Authority is hitting the road to bring the weather and howler to your school.
Oh, I can see.
See that? Arizona's family's teaming up with the Arizona Coyotes for the Weather Roadshow.
What's he doing up there?
Learn about weather from the Valley's most experienced team.
Visit azfamily.com to request a roadshow stop at your school. Sponsored by the Arizona Coyotes and only from Arizona's Weather Authority.
We don't all morning at the same time. She, mornings at 4:47. Him, 6:23. And him, not until a very rested 9:07. But we morning all morning long. Weather, traffic, breaking news. Starting from 4:30 all the way to 10. Just for you, Mr. Stayed Up Too Late. So pick your time, Arizona, and morning with us. Morning like an Arizonan. Good morning, Arizona.
Great weekend start with Jamie Soretta, only on 3TV.
George Dean, President and CEO of the Greater Phoenix Urban League. You're watching Urban Connection. I'm talking with Marion here from C.A.V.E, Reginald Burks from Healthy Men Disguised, and Leondis Fuller from South Phoenix Head Start. And we're talking about men, generally speaking, and especially men of color, and the fact that we have a Men of Color Resource Fair that's coming up. Mm-hmm. What we haven't said is where this fair is going to be held.
That's right. So we do have a Men of Color Resource Fair. The theme is Getting Connected. It's going to be on February 29th. It's going
Saturday.
to be, that's Saturday, that's a Saturday, February 29th. It's going to be at the Gateway Community College in Central Phoenix. That address is 1245 East Buckeye Road. That's 1245 East Buckeye Road. We're going to start at 10. We'll feed you, give you a light snack over the course of the time that we're together. We're going to wrap things up about 2 o'clock.
Okay, and what do you want fathers? Just fathers to come,
all
or
men.
Any man, any
all
man?
Men.
How
all
about
men.
Children and so forth?
Please bring your children. We should have a couple activities for the younger people. You know, bring their ladies. You know, support system, because in actuality, it's the women that push the men.
That's right.
To do better. Okay. So those men that have families, we encourage the whole family to come out, and those men that are just single, please come out. Get some information, lots of information, health, social services, just everything that you could want to know for the most part.
Okay. And even men that are at work and your significant other would love to gather some resources for you. They're welcome to come, even if they come by themselves, because as Reginald stated, women are very, very much so and encouraged for men to change or to do better.
Okay. Marion, you said one time before that really males are in a crisis situation. Tell us a little bit about that. We only got about a minute and a half left. But
so just real quickly, we always talk about the boy crisis and the fact that we are losing boys at an alarming rate, whether that be to suicide. We're seeing more and more boys that are dropping out of school. We're seeing more boys, less boys actually making the transition from high school into college. The boy crisis is a national crisis. It cuts across all race, creeds, and colors. There is no age discrimination with regard to the boy crisis. It's a two-part. Part of it is education, but the most important part that we're trying to address is dad deprivation. Boy crisis is created because dads are not engaged, dads are not leading their kids, dads are not bringing their kids up, and dads are not bringing about that paternal nurturance.
And I think a lot of that also, I think it goes above class. Not only does it not just for boys of color and so forth, but it's also the class situation, because there are some middle classes and upper class that boys get in trouble too. You know?
It has no. It is not, the boy crisis does not discriminate. It's not just a United States problem. It is the same problem we're seeing overseas, because boys are getting disconnected because a lot of men sometimes, as Reginald said, don't have a purpose. What is their purpose? And if they don't have a purpose, they're just wandering.
Okay. All right. Okay, guys, we got to wrap this up now. That's one of the things about television is they cut you off after a while. But Marion Hill, Reginald Burks, and Leondis Fuller, I want to thank the three of you for coming and sharing this information. Invite all of you to Gateway Community College on February the 29th at 10 a.m. And the location is 1245 East Buckeye Road. So come on down and find out some more information on terms of how to make you a better person, and how you can take being a better person for everybody else that's around you and so forth. I'm George Dean, President and CEO of the Greater Phoenix Urban League, and we'll talk with you next month on Urban Connections.